didn't see you guys there. Sorry. I was watching our latest video. It's a different one for the Bricks of Happiness channel. You see, because we like to get stuff done, except for we like to do a lot of the stuff ourselves. And rather than working on the shower, we have a very cranky, very spoiled Jeep that decided she needed an oil cooler. Rather than pay $1,500, Jesse decided to tackle the job himself. So like I said, not the normal Bricks of Happiness video. If you skip forward to the end, there's some pretty scenery. If not, you might be a gearhead and you might want to watch it anyway. Who knows? It's up to you. All the same, we'll see you next time.
Wow, you're dirty. You guys are dirty. Clean yourselves up. I know you're our followers, so you can't be like that clean, but dirty. A little cleaner, but still dirty. Good morning, good day. Hello, everyone. I hope you are doing amazing. Today is another day of, bus life fun. I would love to say that, hey, we're gonna work on the bathroom today, and I'm gonna show you guys some awesome stuff with that, but unfortunately, this is not that video. This is the My Jeep is Needy and Wants Love video. As you guys may know or may not know, this is our Jeep. It's our tow vehicle. It's what we tow behind the bus. It's what I use to run around for work when we're on the road. It's also advertising for our channel because, you know, you gotta put your name on stuff, right? Hey lady. She's not ready for the day yet, so she's not saying hello yet. The oil cooler on the Jeep decided that it wanted to leak. So I have to tear the whole intake off, the whole top of the motor off to get to the oil cooler. While doing that, I might as well do an oil change because it's pretty much due for that as well. Might as well do a coolant flush while I'm in there because the coolant connects to the oil cooler, obviously. So I have to drain that as well. So that is what we're doing today. Fun vehicle maintenance. On another note, Jonah is getting ready to take off because today is Grampy's birthday. He is 29 years young, which is weird that he's younger than me, but he is. Just kidding, he's not, but we're not gonna say. Hey bud, are you gonna sing to Grampy? No? You're still not a singer, huh? It's just not your thing. So while I play with this and Lily helps me and does Lily things, Jonah's going to play with Grampy for his birthday. I think they're going hiking. Who knows what else they might do.
You did? Awesome. Hi, Maury. Hi, Maury. Hi, Maury. Oh, thank you very much. Oh, look at that. That's
Maury wants to say happy birthday too. What, Maury?
birthday, Grampy. Love, I hope you have a good cake, Jonah. And you wrote all of that. That's awesome. I want a hug. Oh, thank you so much.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Do you feel older?
Not much.
Yeah, well, good.
I look older though.
Nah. Maury, geez. Are you singing? Maury singing happy birthday?
Oh, yes.
Okay, coolant's draining, oil's draining. Now we can start to take things apart. Woo! Repurulous. I have to take the intake off. I have to take all of this electrical off. I have to undo all of the coils, all of the injectors. Then I have to take the actual intake off. This is the plenum. Then there's an intake under that. I gotta take the intake off, and then this guy runs back underneath, and that's what I have to pull out of there. Intake, throttle body, or plenum, throttle body, what a lot of people would refer to intake. It's a piece of the intake, but it's not the actual intake, it's the plenum. And air intake all off. So, as you can see, there's some oil residue in the old plenum intake, whatever you want to call it. You can also see it in our vacuum lines here, which is not good because then it could vacuum into other issues and cause other problems. So that's what she looks like. I got rags down in her right now. Now it's for the next step. I gotta plug in the compressor and make things nice and loud, blow everything out that I can. Then we'll go down another step and keep going from there. Woohoo!
How goes it?
Hey. It's right there. Threw that beach on the ground where she belongs.
The culprit.
One of the culprits.
One of the culprits.
Yeah, see that lake down there? That's supposed to be a dry valley. That is the top of the engine block. not supposed to have any fluids there. Obviously there's a little bit more, well, there's coolant there added to it right now because I just pulled the oil cooler off, but none of it's supposed to be like that, needless to say. So now I get to clean that out. I get to clean that out without a fluid vac. Yeah. Man, if I was only at the brake shop still. I had a thing, you just hook it into the compressor and suck it out. I don't have one no more. I also need to change the PCV valve on this. That might be part of the reason that there's some oil in there. Unfortunately, in these nice 3.6 Pentastars, it's on the back side of the motor and you can't get to the bottom bolt. You can barely get the hose off. So the easiest way is to go through here. Normally, people have to take the tire off. I think I can get in there because I don't want to take my tire off. I just got to take the inner fender well off, which is a normal process to get this done. So while I'm waiting for rags to sop up the oil and coolant that are in the valley up there where the oil cooler goes, I'm gonna go ahead and yank this out and see if I can switch out this PCV valve. Yay! Oh my God, she's naked. I think we can get in there. What I should have done is before I had it drained of everything, I should have turned the wheel so that I could get in there a little easier. Hindsight, am I right?
While Jesse is working on the Jeep, and the struggle is real, I have like the spring cleaning bug. Jonah's at Grammy and Grampy's today. It's Grampy's birthday and we're gonna meet up with them later, so it is easier to clean when you're not tending to a 6-year-old. And I just started with the fridge. And now I think I'm gonna like get after it and just clean. I think I'm just gonna focus on the kitchen today. But it is interesting because it's a small space, but we create the same amount of dirt as you would in a home. So it piles on a lot faster. And add to the fact the wood stove and the ash, and that we open the windows and leave the door open and the dust accumulates. It always feels like it's so dirty. So I'm gonna go after it. I'm gonna clean and clean and clean and clean today. Let's see. Yeah, see, look, just junk just piled up everywhere.
Good day, everyone. Day 2. Got everything tore down just fine. I think I showed all that. Got everything tore down just fine. Got all the way to the bottom. Got some rags stuck in there so that we could try and soak it up. Decided not to try and ruin the shop vac by trying to use it to suck a bunch of oil and coolant out. So rags in there soaking everything up, and then I was like, okay, while that's soaking up, I'm gonna go ahead and switch the PCV valve out. PCV valve on this is back there, on the very back side of that valve cover. Kind of like this is on the front, but on the back. They are 2 T25 Torx screws, and they're almost impossible to get to. The top one you have to remove the hose, and then you have to make sure that your piece is long enough that it will go over where the hose sat, because there's no room for anything to sit there like a socket or a ratchet or anything. No, it won't be level. So you have to make sure that it goes over the hose piece, but then doesn't hit the firewall, which is maybe an inch apart from each other. Nightmare. Needless to say, all the time it took to tear that down yesterday, it took me equal amount of time just to replace the PCV valve. I got the old one out, I got the new one in, and the screws back in place down to like finger tight. Then I was using a tiny little ratchet, which I couldn't show you because I could barely get in where I needed to get in at, let alone hold a camera. To get to the bottom screw on the PCV valve, I had to remove the fender well, inner fender well, and it is back here, up on this backside. I can feel it right there. That's about all you can do is feel it. Obviously, as you can see, I can't really get too close to it, let alone operate a ratchet there. When trying to do that, I got the bottom one in, and I think it's tight, I'm not positive. The top one I was working on, and I dropped it. I was able to save the ratchet hit the ground. The bit that was in it, the T25 Torx, don't know where it's at. Could be in the frame, could be on the block somewhere, could be back by the transmission. We really don't know. So I had to get that this morning. Here, we have a little tiny spin wheel thingy mabobber. I hope it's gonna work much better. So I'm gonna try and get these tightened up right now. After that, I'm ready to finish cleaning this up and put it back together. But the lower intake bolts take like 5 foot-pounds of torque. It's not something that I want to guess on, because if you over tighten it, it can squish the seals the wrong way, causing it to leak or leak prematurely, which I don't want, because I'd rather never tear this apart again. So I started searching for the correct torque wrench that I need. Mine starts at 20 pounds. I don't know if it's calibrated, but regardless, that's too much. The only one that I could find was in the next town over, next city over, and it has to come from Phoenix, so it should be here today by 1:30. So instead of getting up this morning and getting right back to work, I didn't. I went and grabbed this, and then I went and hung out with Nana and played golf, the card game. 18 holes. Sorry, no Nana. She's not feeling very well, so I wasn't recording. I apologize. But right now, back to work, see if I can get this thing back together, and then I have to run out and grab the torque wrench that I need. In the meantime... Hey lady, what are you doing?
Cleaning?
Oh, wow, you are cleaning. That's the top of our stove over there. Love your face. Well, that tells you what the right tool will do. That took maybe 2 minutes to tighten up the bottom one, tighten up the top one, and put the hose back on. Craftsman, tiny little guy, found it at Lowe's. Completely worth the $5. Could have saved myself hours of pain yesterday. All right, clean this sucker up and start putting it back together. Then I gotta go get the torque wrench. Change-o plans. I am going to go ahead and use the shop vac to suck this out, because the rags that I stuffed down in there, it looks like they sopped up all the oil and some of the antifreeze, but now all that's left is antifreeze. I'm pretty sure that I can suck that out without killing the shop vac. I was worried about sucking oil up in it because, well, it just gets gunky. And yeah, I know you can wash it out and clean the filters, replace them, all that, but it's the only little one I got. And we use it in the bus all the time, especially with the wood stove. So, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it and cross my fingers. All right, dude. Please suck it up and try not to like spew liquid all over the place. I'll call that a success. Check it out. Way better than I thought it was gonna be. Yeah, I know shop vacs are made for liquid too, but not like liquid extractors. They're made for like cleaning up some liquid messes here and there. That is a liquid mess. All right, fine. Okay, now I just need to kind of polish it up a little bit, and then I'm waiting on the torque wrench. So you guys will see that, well, now. You're lucky, because I have to wait. Not fair. And we're back. I feel like that took forever. All of that for a torque wrench that will do under 5 pounds. So now I can try and put it back together. Yay. Hey, how come you didn't put it back together while I was gone?
I was busy. Did you see the inside of the bus?
Honestly, I didn't look.
I don't even know who that
You want to show them?
Yeah. I told you guys I was gonna get on a kick and I was gonna start cleaning. And honestly, I'm probably only like a third of the way through, but here's what it looks like when it's all nice and neat. I'll oil all the countertops. Still have to wash all these, but everything got put away and oiled, and all of the white cabinets got wiped down. I won't do the floor until like absolutely last. So, because that requires me like pulling everything out, vacuuming everything out, putting it all back away, which is more of an organizational thing, and that just has to come last. But I'm making progress with Jesse out of my way. Okay, oil cooler is in. It went in super tight, like enough to where I had to use the bolts to snug it down, and then loosen the bolts and then tighten it in the order that I needed to, because just trying to push it into place wasn't working. I was afraid I was gonna like break it. So here it is. Boom, there she is down there in the bottom. Now it's time to pull these rags, get things cleaned up there, reinstall that part of the intake. That's the lower intake. Then do the same thing over again, get everything all cleaned up, and then install the upper intake.
then install so on and so forth, everything else. Okay, oil cooler is in, lower intake is on and started threaded but not in yet. I'm going to hand tighten them now and then come back around. Hand tight and then torque to 71 inch-pounds. 71 inch-pounds, that is. And I have the tightening order written down on my hand because, oh, my phone's almost dead. I think it's kind of crazy and slightly absurd that we're torquing things to 71 inch-pounds. I also think it's a little absurd, my setup here, because, well, you just gotta use what works, you know? So lower intake going in right now, 71 inch-pounds, good times. It's cool, it reads out as it goes, 53, 54, 55, 57, and then it starts beeping as you get close. 65, 66. Good morning, everyone. Day 3 of working on the Jeep. So yesterday, honestly, I don't even know where I lost you yet because I haven't looked at it and the battery died on the camera. Where we are at currently is the oil cooler is in. I have the lower intake in and now I'm hooking up everything. What I didn't tell you or touch on earlier is that we found out that somebody else has been in here before, besides myself. Because the lower intake had marks on the bolts, it's been taken off. And 2 of the clips for the injectors, the safety clip was broken on one, and on the other one it was just missing. So somebody has pulled those off as well. What I didn't know is getting them back together is kind of a pain. Like they have a little waterproof jacket that goes inside of them. But like squeezing it with all my might without a tool, and some of them just don't want to go back together. So that's what I ended fighting with yesterday. Called it a day. The sun was going down, or was down, and so here we are today. Today is actually Monday, so I have work. Luckily it's a little slow this morning. I'm not sure if it's going to stay that way. So what I'm saying is I have no promises on how much of this you might see or not see or hear about because work gets carried away sometimes. I would like to finish this up and knock it out today. Obviously I can get this back together today, but what I also want to do is I'm doing a coolant flush and changing coolant hoses, and I also, well, the oil's drained, of course, because, well, I had to drain the oil. So that's what we're doing. I'm gonna get back to work here. All the injectors, all the coils, they are all plugged in. Now I gotta get this intake, the upper intake in, which you don't wanna mess up these seals that it's sitting under, but I gotta get it over here through these guys. That actually wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be. Everything seems to be in the right spot. Now we just got to get these 7 bolts lined up and screw them into the right torque specs, and then we'll be ready to button the top end up, which is incredible. I might have messed up. I think I can sneak this through there. I took it off that way. I just don't know if it's supposed to be that way all the time. I assume you're supposed to put it on after because you don't want to be pushing these things in when the intake's open. They're all dusty and shit. Oh shit. No, I can't put that in first because there's a frickin', can I get to it? No. There's a frickin' bolt back there. That answers my question. Okay, I need the thingy. Puller thingy, where did I put you? Doodle-doodle-doodle-doo, there you are. Aha, door panel puller. Necessary tool. I like the scissor ones better, but they're more expensive and I didn't want to pay for that, so instead I'm still breaking clips. Smashing clips, pulling clips apart. It's kind of a treacherous clip business. Okay, I have to look up the tightening sequence for this guy. The tightening sequence as well as the torque. Torque is going to be 89 inch-pounds, and the tightening sequence I pulled off a Chrysler, so the motor's sideways, so I need to look at it slightly differently. One off the tip, that's the one in the back. Okay, so one, be right back, I'm going to write this on my hand. Okay, 89 inch-pounds, I have the order here on my hand. Okay, 1, 1, 4, 2, right? Yes. I always second guess myself on everything like this, which is a good thing, but it gets annoying. Okay. Okay, and those are done. It's crazy because that light, they don't feel tight. I know they are, but they don't feel tight. Okay, now we got to rehook up hoses. There's a brake booster hose over here that you don't want to forget because that would be terrible. It is the wonderful time that we get to fill it back up with oil. New filter, of course, because, well, it's a new oil cooler. And I cleaned that whole top end and everything as much as I could, but I am going to sea foam it. Seafoam makes a new product. Here, let me grab it. This here is regular Seafoam. This here is the new Seafoam, which is top engine cleaner. It comes with this little plastic hook piece that cups into where your intake is and throttle body is, and you put the whole can down the top end while it's running already at temperature. This one, you could do the same thing, but you had to like siphon it into your vacuum lines. So they made this new new treatment method. This one, I'm going to put a little bit in the crankcase with the oil so that it can clean everything up. I'm gonna run it for, you know, a few hundred miles probably, and then I'm gonna do another oil change. So currently right now I'm using 530. 530 is a little bit better under super hot conditions. We try not to be under super hot conditions a lot, so I'm going back to the recommended 520 simply because it has a little bit better lubrication at lower temperatures, and it tends to hold in the top end better than 530 does, is my understanding. So either way, they're both fine, but we're gonna give it a shot. This video is not sponsored by Seafoam or by Mobil 1 or by anybody else that I have gotten parts from on this, even though I wish it was sponsored, because then you guys could have just sent it to me. So next time, Seafoam, tiny channel, want to sponsor us? Just kidding. So add oil and then on to the coolant flush. It's a shame to use it for such a short amount of time just because it's so damn expensive, but it's better to have a happy Jeep, I think. Just always second guessing myself, just like I am right now. You know how many times I've looked up how much oil goes into this motor, but yet I'm sitting here, am I sure it's 6 quarts? Or is it 5 quarts? Even though I'm like, I should be 100% sure that it's 6 quarts because I've looked it up multiple times. It's even open on a tab in my phone right now. But I'm gonna look it up again just to be sure, because that's the last thing you want to do is be wrong. It even says right here in my notes, 6 quarts of 520. Jeep fluid capacities, 3.6 liter engine oil, 6 quarts. So 1 more quart, because that was 5, and then we can work on the coolant flush. Okay, place bucket under the engine radiator to catch coolant, opened at this petcock. I already did that. Disconnect hose at cap for the coolant overflow bottle. I'm gonna do that next. Drain clean bottle, duh. Disconnect upper. I'm gonna get to work. You guys don't wanna see it all, do you? Do you care? You won't even be able to see me I'm just gonna do this. Okay, everything is back together except for this one little plug, which is the release petcock valve for the Jeep. It is right where Jonah's head is at currently. I found out that nicely a 3/4 inch socket fits great on the end of this. I also found out that if you accidentally turn it the wrong way a quarter turn, that it might pop out. So my hand can't fit in there because of my winch and my bumper. Jonas can, but he can't seem to help. So I had to take the whole dang grill off. No way, you're not putting that in there now. I took the whole grill off. So I had to take the whole grill off to put this one plug in. Granted, I tried with a socket for a few minutes and just couldn't get it lined up right. So I chose not to. So I took the grill off and now I'm gonna try and get this in. I'm also on my phone now because I'm pretty sure the camera's dead. or I filled up the card. But as you can see, I don't know if you can see in there, but down in there is where I'm trying to put this. It is definitely not the easiest thing I have done all day. The hard part is telling like where it lines up so you can get it back in place. Oh my gosh, what a nightmare. I think I have it. I think. Oh, do we? It's got to go up and down. Ugh, okay, I got to put you down for a second. Yeah, it's in there. It's almost, you can see the bottom of it right there. That's got to be perfectly up and down. There it is. That little guy right there. I think that's straight up and down. Yeah, it looks like it is. All right, the time has come to add the coolants. We have to add the coolant until it starts coming out the upper heater lines, which I accidentally connected and then had to disconnect again. Let me tell you, super excited about that one because that was fun. I have one of those nice upgraded air filters like a K&N, but it's called a Volant, made by Donaldson. I had to pull it off to get my extension out that I had dropped into that cold air box. No big deal. The outside of the filter, which isn't that old, like maybe a year, it's supposed to be a 100,000 mile filter, cracked. So I had to try and super glue that back together. So currently, my air filter on the intake is pieced back together, but it'll work for now. Everything is back together. Coolant is filled up as far as I can. I need to fire it up and let it run for a bit as I top off coolant. Check for leaks. Check for leaks with the oil cooler. Make sure the oil pressure and all that stuff is okay. And then it should be all right. Cross our fingers, folks.
I'm crossing them.
Well, she appears to be good. Let's go drive it. Look at that sunset. I bet you it looks amazing out on the lookout. Not today. So we're at the top of the hill. We drove up here. Thermostat opened up. It cooled down. I turned the heater on. Blowing super hot. Way hotter than it ever did before. You can tell that it has a cleared out heater core. Now we're gonna head home. Sitting at 212. Which seems hot, but for this it's not. It's regular.
210.
Between 190 and 225-ish, completely normal. What are you ladies doing this evening? So many.
Those were almost all of the babies when we saw at a bus. You guys didn't see them.
Yeah, in the middle of working there was a bunch of deer that walked through, like 10 of them, but I didn't have a chance to grab the camera. I was knee deep in a motor. Jonah watched them though, huh?
Yep, and I wandered up. Then I saw 10 of them. I counted every single one and there was 10.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I do believe that she is okay. We'll know until, you know, later down the road, but everything seems to be okay. I threw the hood open and checked what I fixed and looked for leaks and I don't see nothing. Knock on every dang tree around here. So tomorrow, check coolant level, make sure that it's okay, top it off, burp any bubbles, and then just keep a close eye on her. I can tell you that she's definitely running better. So that's it. I'm gonna consider this one closed. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching me do something that's not normal and not bus related. But this is everyday life. Was I working on the bathroom? No. I was working on our Jeep and running around all over the place and doing all the things for the stuff so that we have working vehicles. If I would have taken that to a shop and paid for it, it would have been well over, probably close to 1,500 bucks, if not more. So I'm okay with that. That's it. Love you guys. Good night. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you on the next one. If you like what you saw, or if it was at least a little bit entertaining or informational, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already, because, hey, we're here for you.
I'm almost rich.
Jonah wants to say something.
What?
I'm almost rich. I have... Okay, this is 100 pennies, and this is 6 packs of pennies.
Cool.
Yeah.
See you later. See you on the next one. See you next time. Adios. Muchachos.
Adios.
The diesel heater's already roaring array in the bus. All right, all the seals are in. All the I honestly don't know if you can see me in there. One of the funnest parts about doing something like this is trying to line up shots. I wanted to zoom it in a little bit so you could see the motor a little better. So I'm trying to set you up there so you can get a better view. But it looks like I have to be, you know, zoomed out so you can see me. Otherwise I'm a talking stomach. Or just do the whole thing cross-eyed. I'd find it amusing.
You're killing my vibe here.
Huh?
You're killing me, Smalls.
Why?
Because.
Cause why?
Shh.
Oh, pfft. Welcome to my life. Oh, I was gonna do the seafoam thing, but it's almost dark and I need a shower and I'm hungry. So maybe I'll do that later. Maybe I won't. If I didn't and you really wanted to see it, let me know. Have a great day. Thanks for watching.